Yes, my people, welcome back to Dave Scott Studio. So today I'm going to show you guys how you do a low taper fade. A low taper fade is kind of different to doing like a, mid taper fade. With the low taper, you want to get the shape up out the way first and debunk the, client's hair. So with the top level, I'm using a number 4 guard, open guard with the grain. And after I start doing all of that, then I'm going to start breaking it down and making sure that the client's front hairline is faded in before I shape it up. It's like basically you're giving them a shape up first before you proceed with the low taper. You want to get all the foundation straight first before you start diving into fading it. So it's a very easy way to actually give a low taper. It's different to, like I said, it's very different to, doing the mid taper, the mid fade, because you breaking it down, you getting the hairline first from the middle to the temple, you stopping, you hitting it from the back. So this one's kind of different because like you're giving them a shape up, but at the end of giving them a shape up and debunking the top of the client's hair, then you start proceeding with the taper fade. Also, like, what's funny as well, like I always say to clients that actually go for this haircut, like, this is a rich man haircut. It's like the haircut's gonna last them like 10 hours. When you giving a client a low taper, realistically, obviously it's not gonna last like 10 hours, but it's gonna last like at least like 4 days tops, and they got to come back and top it up with like a quick shape up. But the small fade will still be there. So with a low taper fade, I always say is a rich man haircut cut. It's not gonna last as long as a mid taper fade, but it just looks clean. It's one of those haircut that just kind of looks very elegant, very classy. It's like you're not trying to do too much, but you're doing a lot at the same time, because to upkeep it, you're gonna be going to the barbershop at least like once every week. Do you know what I mean? But it's definitely a fresh cut. You can actually see right now I'm fading the front of the client's hair. I'm getting everything laid down first before I start shaping up, so I can make sure everything looks crispy. There's a lot that goes into this. Like, don't get it twisted, there's a lot that goes into it, but at the same time, it's very easy if you just have a step-by-step guide and you have a strategy to break it down and to make sure that you follow a system. Then it's one of the most easy haircuts, but at the same time, it's also hard, because once you mess it up, like you literally mess it up, like if you push the taper fade a bit too high, then the whole structure of the haircut has changed, instantly. So like moving forward, you can see that I'm using the holding spray on the client's hairline, because when I spray it, I can actually just brush it and the hair can just actually stay forward. So when I'm shaping up, it doesn't even go backwards. Because sometimes you can be shaping up a client's hair and the hair starts flapping backwards, and you don't want it to flap backwards. You keep combing it and you shaping it up, and then you start pushing it back, creating a whole new line. The holding spray prevents you from doing all of that. I even have a tutorial video on the holding spray as well. It's crazy because, like, when I first stumbled into it, guys, I was just like, this is exactly what I need. Like, I like to use the methylated powder as well, because that's also good as well, because when you shaping up a client's hairline, you can see exactly where you shaped up last, so you see the line of the powder that you've created when shaping up the client's hair. I don't usually do those dramatic pencil lining the client's hairline. I feel like all of that's all hype, but each to his own. But I must say, with a holding spray, it's one of the best investment that you should actually go out your way to go grab that, bro. Like, if you're new to this game, grab yourself the holding spray. So now you can see that I'm actually shaping up the client's hairline. Like, I didn't start from the temple. I'm literally giving him a C cup as well after the shape up of giving him from the temple. This is what I mean, like when I'm getting the whole structure out the way before I start proceeding with the low taper fade. You have to do this. Usually I would have done the shape up, done it to the side, stop at the temple and hit it from the back like where I'm hitting it right now. But you've noticed that I've actually created a whole C cup. So when I'm about to give him a fade, it's just easy for me to make a small borderline, then start to fade up. Notice how I debunked the whole hair level as well. And at the front, that's a 1.5 at the front, and I hit it up with a little 1. So just to make sure that the surface is ready when I want to give it a fade. Listen, guys, like, in this industry, you gotta find out what type of strategy and what type of step-by-step method works for you, and then add your own sauce into it at the end of the day. Like, you can copy and paste what I'm showing you right now, but as time goes on, you can create your own sauce. It's like if I give you a recipe to like a you know, a bad boy curry or whatnot. At some point you can be like, you know what, I want to put some, you know, all seasoning, or I want to put, you know, some more pepper into it. So you just add your own sauce into what you're learning right now. You know, you see, the cut game is easy when you have a passion for it. You know, you gotta make sure you have a passion for it so you can actually be good at what you're doing. Like, notice as well, like how I'm telling you guys how I'm just creating the C cup area right now. I've laid down the whole hair exactly how I want it to be laid down. Like, everything's flat. There's no hair that's overlapping the shape up. So it's going to be very easy for me to just break it down. You can also, like, you know, try to do the fade before doing the shape up, but I wouldn't recommend you to do that. You know what I mean? I feel like that's just going to actually make you push the fade all the way high. By the time when you get the shape up out the way, you notice it's not a low taper. So like I said, follow step by step. But at the same time, you can still add your own sauce into it and making sure that, you know, it's your own signature. But the most important thing about this industry as well is always make sure you keep learning. Just keep learning. Don't let your ego get the best of you and think you know it all. Look, I'm a master barber. I've been in the industry for 16 years, but I always make sure I got my way to educate myself, learn. Always learn, like, find new barbers that you can, you know, resonate with, and, you know, find out how they start, how they cut hair, how they finish, you know, learn. But guys, now look at how I'm making a, you know, small borderline over here, like a very, very tiny borderline. You gotta be kind of technical when you're making a low taper fade. It's crazy because everything you're doing is like in a micro level, you know. You're not really going too ham with it. You're just dabbing a little bit, dabbing until you get that perfection fade that you need. So like I said, it's so easy to mess it up, but it's one of the most easiest trim to do. Like, if you have a step-by-step like what I'm showing you guys, man, you're just gonna be running circle through clients' hair when they're asking you for this. You know what I mean? That's why it's so important to learn, go out your way, do your research, educate yourself. You know, you can never know it all. Like, even me being in this industry for long, I see some barbers do a certain type of technique when they're starting to fade, and I'm like, oh, I like that. I'm gonna take some of that, I'm gonna add that to my sauce. So it's like, just go out your way and learn, educate yourself, because at the end of the day, we're all here to teach each other and to learn from each other, the most important thing. So now look how I'm actually dabbing it. I'm dabbing it with like a 1-2 millimeter, like slowly, like just like bow. I don't want the fade to go past the client's ear. That's where my baseline is. The 20% of the client's ear is actually where my baseline is, to make sure the fade doesn't go past that, and to make sure the fade is not way too low at the same time. It's crazy, isn't it, right? But, you know, you're gonna understand it as time goes on. But definitely, I must say, my favorite part of a low taper is when you're smoothing the client's hair, when you're taking all the loose hair off to make sure that everything looks sharp, clean, and, you know, very presentable. You know, like, sometimes some people, when they give like a low taper fade, right, they're not too worried about, you know, if hair sticking up from the debunking, if they use a number 4 or number 3 or number 5, because they thinking to themselves, man, I'm gonna sponge it anyways. But with me, I don't really think like that. I like it to be smooth, everything smooth from the start to the finish before even sponging it. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, clients do comb their hair, and it's going to be so obvious when they're looking in the mirror and they see that one hair is higher than the rest. You know, just keep that in mind, guys. But now you can see that I'm really, you know, it's really a technical thing when you're doing a low fade, guys. You know, I'm using a 0.5 right now to make sure that I can take the level high. That number 1 that I just showed you, that's a flat number 1, guys. There's a difference. There's, like, you know, you got the bulky number 1 and then you got the flat number 1. The flat number 1 allows you to make the surface that you're trying to make lower, a lot bit more lower than the, you know, number 1 gauge, the thicker one that has the clip at the end. When you put the clip at the end of the clippers in your hair cap, that's the clipper one. With the flat number 1, does not have the clipper one. So you're definitely going to hold the flat clipper one with your thumb, because, you know, if you cut in the client's hair and the gauge falls off the clippers, you know, it can be catastrophe. So, you know, that's one of the reasons why when you're using a flat number 1, you don't know what you're doing. But, you know, the clip one is actually good, but it's a bit too thick. And the reason why I say it's a bit too thick, because you're going to have to keep going over the hair to make sure the surface is lower than how you want it to. Or you can close up the, you know, number 1 gauge to make sure the surface is lower. But, you know, the flat surface number 1 does the job. So, you know, at the back of this client's hair right now, I'm using a 1.5 to just to debunk it, to smooth it, to get it down to a level where it's easy for me to start to fade it. You know, this is just the basic. I use the same number 1 for the front of the client's hairline, if you was wondering what I was using. So now you can see me using a 0.5 just to take it up a little bit. But also, guys, remember, you're giving a client a low taper fade. When a client asks you for a low taper fade, meaning the side needs to be a low taper fade and the back needs to be a low taper fade as well. Everything's got to be even. You don't want the back to be a high taper and then the side be a low taper. You know, it's not really going to look visually pleasing. But me saying that is not to scare you. Watch this video as many times as you want so you can grab the concept of exactly what I'm trying to show you guys. You know, like I said, you know, practice makes perfect. You're going to make mistakes and, you know, it's part of the game at the end of the day. You know, don't let that sway you away from wanting to learn and wanting to be better. You know, I remember when I first started, you know, I was taking at least like 2 hours in the client's hair. You know, 2 hours, like that's, my clippers was hot as hell. And this was like when I first came into the game, I was around like 23. Yo, it was funny. When I think about it now, it's funny. So we all have all of those, you know, embarrassing moments. So just make sure you keep educating yourself. You keep watching videos like this. You watch other videos, you know, you go out your way to, you know, find out new techniques, you know, and to speak to other barbers as well. Like, ask certain barbers about how they start and how they finish haircuts, you know. Ask them, you know, don't feel no way, because at the end of the day, you want to be the best version of yourself and you want to be great at what you do, you know. Now look, watch what I'm doing with the barberless as well. I'm actually picking out some hair, smoothing it out, cutting all the loose hair that potentially might just be sticking out after the client probably washes his hair or wants to comb his hair. You know, those things are very important. It's like, look at it like this, like you have some barbers out here that solely depend on enhancement. They'll enhance their hair out the client's hairline and then, you know, shape it up after doing the all enhancement. And then once the client goes home, has a shower, you know, washes off his hairline, he's going to notice that his hairline is not straight. He's going to notice that his hairline is wonky. He's going to notice like he doesn't even have a hairline. You know what I'm saying to you? So always make sure you perfect every cut you give your client. It's so important. Make sure you smooth it. Make sure you debunk it the right way. Make sure you get the shape up out the way, like what you see me doing right now. Make sure I got the shape up out the way before you start doing all the enhancement. You want to make sure that the trim looks clean, like the trim lasts long as well. I know I told you guys that the, you know, the low taper fade lasts 10 hours. I was actually kidding. I hope you guys didn't, you know, believe that. If you get to the end of this video, just to let you know, it was a joke. You know what? I'll be honest with you. You know, a low taper fade doesn't really last that long. You know, that's a fact. It's gonna last probably like 4-5 days max. But at the same time, the haircut that you give the client, stew needs to look clean. You know, after it marinates, the stew needs to look clean, and that's one of the reasons why you make sure that you smooth the area, you shape it up first before you're doing all the enhancement, before even sponging it like what I'm about to do right now. You know, it's very important, guys. All right, so guys, thanks for taking the time for watching this video. If you're new to this channel, make sure you like, subscribe. I also have a playlist for you guys to watch if you're a beginner barber. Make sure you check it out on the channel below, and I'll see you there. Peace.